The world watched in awe and horror. It was 1945. The United States had unleashed a power unlike anything ever seen. Atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, brought a swift end to World War II. These bombs left an indelible mark on the human psyche. The world had entered the atomic age. It was a time of both promise and peril. The devastation was immense. Tens of thousands were vaporized instantly. Many more died from radiation poisoning. The bombings forced the world to confront nuclear weapons. These weapons could destroy entire cities. The bombing sparked a scientific race. Countries rushed to develop nuclear weapons. The Cold War fueled this arms race. Both sides sought bigger weapons. This led to the hydrogen bomb, far more powerful than its predecessor. Using fusion, it unleashed unimaginable force. The world now faced its own annihilation. The early decades of the nuclear age were defined by a relentless pursuit of more power. Bigger bombs meant greater destructive capability. This led to the creation of weapons with yields measured in megatons. 1 megaton is equivalent to the explosive force of 1 million tons of TNT. However, a shift occurred in the late 20th century. Military strategists and engineers began to focus on precision and efficiency. The goal was no longer simply to obliterate everything in a single blast. Instead, the focus shifted towards developing more targeted and tactical nuclear weapons. Advances in computing power and missile technology allowed for greater accuracy. Smaller, more precise weapons offered a way to limit unintended consequences. This shift towards miniaturization has led to the development of warheads with yields measured in kilotons. While these weapons may be smaller in terms of explosive power, they are still incredibly destructive. Their smaller size makes them more portable and easier to deploy. This has raised concerns about their use in limited conflicts or even terrorist attacks. The difference in size and power between early nuclear weapons and their modern counterparts is striking. The little boy bomb dropped on Hiroshima had an explosive yield of approximately 15 kilotons. In contrast, the B-83, a modern thermonuclear bomb, has a yield up to 1.2 megatons. The W-88 warhead, carried by Trident II missiles, has a yield of 475 kilotons. Miniaturization raises concerns about easier deployment and detection. The development of miniaturized nuclear weapons has gone hand in hand with advances in detonation technology. One such advancement is the concept of staggered detonation. This technique involves detonating multiple smaller explosions in rapid succession. This creates a more sustained and destructive blast wave than a single larger explosion. Staggered detonation offers several advantages. First, it allows weapon designers to achieve greater efficiency. This means that more of the weapon's potential energy is converted into destructive force. Second, staggered detonation can be used to tailor the blast effects for specific targets. This is particularly useful for destroying hardened targets, such as underground bunkers or command centers. The development of staggered detonation technology highlights the ongoing evolution of nuclear weapons. Despite international efforts to reduce their numbers, nuclear-armed states continue to invest in research and development. This suggests that the threat posed by these weapons is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. The quest for more efficient and effective nuclear weapons is a chilling reminder of the destructive power at our disposal. It underscores the urgent need for international cooperation and arms control measures to prevent the use of these devastating weapons. Section 5. The new arms race, hypersonic missiles and the threat of rapid escalation. The miniaturization of nuclear weapons has coincided with another worrying trend, the development of hypersonic missiles. These missiles, capable of traveling at speeds greater than 5 times the speed of sound, pose a significant challenge to traditional missile defense systems. Hypersonic missiles are highly maneuverable and difficult to track. This makes them ideal for delivering surprise attacks. When combined with miniaturized nuclear warheads, hypersonic missiles represent a dangerous escalation in the arms race. The threat posed by hypersonic missiles is twofold. First, their speed and maneuverability reduce the time for decision-making in the event of an attack. This increases the risk of miscalculation or accidental escalation. Second, the deployment of hypersonic missiles could destabilize the balance of power, leading to a new arms race as nations seek to develop the countermeasures. The combination of hypersonic missiles and miniaturized nuclear weapons represents a significant challenge to international security. Addressing this threat will require a combination of diplomacy, arms control, and technological innovation. Section 6. The rise of the machines, AI, and the uncertain future of nuclear warfare. The future of nuclear weapons is inextricably linked to the development of artificial intelligence. AI has the potential to revolutionize warfare in numerous ways, including the command and control of nuclear weapons. One area of concern is the potential for AI to increase the risk of accidental nuclear war. AI systems, while capable of processing vast amounts of data, are not infallible. Errors in code or unexpected interactions could lead to unintended consequences, potentially triggering a nuclear exchange. Another concern is the potential for AI to erode the human element of decision-making in nuclear warfare. The speed at which AI systems can process information could lead to a situation where humans are effectively removed from the decision-making loop. This could increase the risk of automated responses to perceived threats, potentially leading to unintended escalation. The integration of AI into nuclear weapon systems raises profound ethical and strategic questions. It is imperative that we carefully consider the implications of these technologies and establish clear guidelines and safeguards to prevent catastrophic consequences. Section 7, A World on Edge, the heightened risks of miniaturized nuclear weapons. The miniaturization of nuclear weapons has significantly lowered the threshold for their use. Smaller, more portable weapons increase the risk that they could fall into the wrong hands, potentially leading to regional conflicts or even terrorist attacks. The potential consequences of even a limited nuclear exchange are dire. The detonation of a single nuclear weapon, regardless of its size, would have devastating humanitarian and environmental consequences. The radioactive fallout from such an event could contaminate vast areas, rendering them uninhabitable for generations. The proliferation of miniaturized nuclear weapons also increases the risk of miscalculation or accidental use. As more actors acquire these weapons, the likelihood of an incident involving their use increases. This underscores the need for robust international cooperation and arms control measures to prevent the spread of these dangerous weapons. We live in a world where the consequences of nuclear war are unthinkable, yet the tools for such destruction are becoming increasingly accessible. This paradox demands our urgent attention and a renewed commitment to diplomacy and disarmament. Section 8, The Moral Imperative, Confronting the Challenges of a Nuclear-Armed World. The continued existence of nuclear weapons poses a profound moral challenge to humanity. These weapons, capable of inflicting unimaginable suffering and destruction, stand as a stark reminder of our capacity for self-destruction. The development and possession of nuclear weapons raise fundamental ethical questions about the nature of war, the limits of acceptable violence, and our responsibility to protect future generations. These are not easy questions to answer, but they are questions that we can no longer afford to ignore. We must find the courage and the political will to confront the nuclear weapons threat head-on. This requires a multifaceted approach that includes diplomacy, arms control, and public engagement. We must strengthen international treaties and institutions aimed at preventing the spread of nuclear weapons and reducing the risks of accidental or unauthorized use. We must also invest in diplomatic efforts to resolve conflicts peacefully and address the underlying causes of international tension. Section 9, Our Shared Future Towards a Safer World and the Pursuit of Disarmament. The pursuit of a world free from nuclear weapons is not a naive dream. It is a moral imperative and a practical necessity if we are to ensure the survival of our species. Achieving this goal will require a sustained and concerted effort from the international community. We must foster a culture of peace and dialogue based on mutual respect and understanding. We must invest in education and raise awareness about the humanitarian and environmental consequences of nuclear war. We must also support the work of scientists, engineers, and policymakers who are developing innovative solutions to the technical and political challenges of nuclear disarmament. The road to a nuclear-free world will be long and arduous, but it is a journey that we must undertake together. The future of humanity may very well depend on it.